All right. Thank you so much for your patience. So we have our trainer. His name is Sri, who's going to explain about the PMP certification. So, Sri, you can take over and we can start the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, let's get in. So, what is this PMP all about? So, the all this question come up, why we need a PMP. PMP is one of the prime certificate in the market, which talks about project management to the depth. When we say to the depth, we cover every part of project management, talking about starting the project and planning it effectively, running it, monitoring it, and also closing it. Now, the question always comes on, in spite of a lot of certificate available in the market, why a person has to go for PMP. The PMP is a certificate which is going to help a manager to be the more effective manager in the job what they perform. What we mean by effective management, it is to get the base knowledge of strategy of the organization, business plans of the organization, and further get into technical project management where it goes deep understanding every tools of project management along with the leadership. I'm just giving the high level view of why the PMP technically needed. And before we get there, I will just show one stats which came out from PMI. PMI is nothing but Project Management Institute. I can even show that what they do. Hope you all aware that the PMI is a project management institute who takes the responsibility of running this PMP, project management program professional certification, which is the most flagship program here. And this certificate comes out with a lot of benefits. Even before going for the benefits, let's understand why we need it. There was a stats in 2008, 2012, and now in 2017. It is done by Anderson Economic Group, where they worked out on project management, job growth, and talent gap. The analysis had a result which was very shocking to look out. There's a large gap, a widening gap of employees' need and the skilled project managers available in the market. So let's see the stats here. As per the stats, there is a dramatic increase in number of jobs requiring project-oriented skills. What do you mean by project-oriented skills? A manager who can effectively take a task and execute it within the time and within the budget. Now, why that's a demand? The demand grows as there is the number of people who do project management is not sufficient enough. If you read out this, as opportunities are growing, much of the available talent is reaching retirement age. One set is moving out, we are expecting a new set to come in. These factors are creating an extraordinarily positive job outlook for skilled project professionals. If I look at the stats here, the stats starts between 2017 to 2027, which is going to expect around 87.7 million need. It goes around 11 countries, including the top countries who are doing economically powerful. And only along this 11 countries, they were able to find out that there's going to be a gap of around $207 billion. It's very huge. It's a very huge gap. Now, to address this gap, there are a lot of studies happening around. And one of the topmost study is the project management study, which we are going to talk about. And specifically in healthcare industry, they're going to estimate around 17% of growth going to happen, for which they expect more efficient managers to take the job. I'll just give a brief about some of the industries where there is a high demand for project managers. If you look at the screen here, some of the leading sectors are manufacturing and construction. It's always an evergreen industry. And information services and publishing, yeah, 5.5 million is expected here. Finance and insurance expected here. Management and professional services, utilities, oil and gas. This is a study taken over only in the 11 countries out of 195 countries we have in this world. So there is always a demand here for project managers. Now the question is why, and why there is always a demand for project managers. It is because there is something called talent triangle. If you can see the screen. Now let me take you the talent triangle on a different website. This is the website of PMI, that's Project Management Institute. Now I'm putting this point of stance, there is a need for project managers. And when we talk about need for project managers, we should know what a project manager need and what is the basic skills of project manager. For which PMI, the Project Management Institute, came out with something called talent triangle. The talent triangle talk about three factors which makes a manager more effective person. A person who has a very effective knowledge on strategic and business management of the organization. Most of the time, managers being an executor who do the job which is meant to do. However, a manager who has a strategic and business management knowledge, who is going to be a great contributor to the project, a great contributor to the organization.
It's too much.
Now a person holding, yeah?
It's a lot of static.
Yeah, that's right. And and when we talk about business management, there is more expectation from the organization for a manager to understand the top level strategies of an organization before even they get inside the project. Now what's happening in the market is managers are good in what they do. I think I'm hearing some. Gibson, you want to say something?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, Gibson.
We're both listening in, and I believe the microphone may be too close to your mouth because there's a lot of, it sounds as if there's a lot of air passing through the mic, causing it to sound distorted.
I'm sorry. How is it now?
That's much better. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thanks for that. Okay, I believe you're able to follow what I was saying. Or you want me to repeat it again?
Sure, please.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, we're just giving a stats about what is the stats happening in the market where there's a high demand for project managers. Then the stats goes between 2017 and 2027. There is a high demand on certain industries like in manufacturing or information services or management industry. Primarily, they're looking out for a standard project managers who can run the project effectively, which can give results within time and within the budget. And when we talk about managers who are professional, who are effective in execution and management of the project, there is certain terms given in PMI, that is Project Management Institute, to mention that a project manager will be very effective. And that falls under something called talent triangle. And it's a very powerful system brought out by from PMI. And this came out after making a big study on where the project fails and why the project fails. The first understanding came as there is more than 65% of the projects failing in the world because of lack of communication or frequent change of strategy of the organization. Now, when we went deep inside to understand why the strategy is changing, why there is a communication gap, it is again understood that managers play a vital role being the bridge between the organization strategy and the team which is executing the task. Now, the managers the leaders who is going to run the project, who are going to execute it effectively, should have three key ingredients to make it happen. The one is very important called strategic and business management, who understands the depth of the company or organization policies and strategies towards their top goal. And most of the time we see managers are so good in what they're asked to do. Whereas when we ask them, what's the goal in the next 2 years of your organization, it'll be slightly wondering for them, what I'm going to do. So it's expected for a manager or a leader to have a clarity or a vision of what's going to be the organizational big goal. What's a portfolio level strategy? What is a program level strategy? What is the vision of the organization? When this is understood clearly, a person can drive in front seat. Now, the second point goes on technical project management. What is it? Here, the technical project management talks about a depth of knowledge on how we are going to schedule a project, how we are going to do the cost management, how we are going to do the resource management or third-party vendoring or procurement. The more we understand the technical factors of running a project, executing a project, understanding the tools available in the market, there are a lot of softwares available, there are a lot of information available, how we are going to use it, how that part covers under technical and project management. And even we have the two, that is a strategic, technical, there is one which is always a big challenge, that is called leadership. The more, the better the leader. When I say leader, we talked about, it'll go inside, talking about interpersonal skills. I was sharing a screen here. If you see the interpersonal skills talks about the leadership ability of a person, team building abilities, how motivating you're taking the team, what are the communication abilities we have, how we influence the team, political and cultural awareness, what we have in an organization, how we do the conflict management. And now this all come as a pack called as interpersonal skills, which falls under leadership. A leader is a person who can see something new which others cannot see. And now when we go back to the PMI is very clear that a person who is going to be leader, a person who is going to drive the organization as a director or a project manager should hold these are the skills to take forward. Now, why this is being discussed here? We know that there is a drastic demand for project managers across different countries, economic powerful countries in the world, and it is going to be very high going forward in 2020, 27 and going forward. Now, as a manager, as a director of the company, we have to enhance our skills in project management. And PMP is one of that certificate which is going to explain every corners of project management along with the interpersonal skills, leadership skills, and business strategies. Right? So now, getting on, yeah, before I'm getting further inside, do we have any general question from the team here to understand, hey, what is PMP? Do we have any questions there so that I can address your couple of questions before I go to the next topic? Yeah. Do you have any question here directly so that I can help you to understand more? Okay. So I will take it further on. When I say further on, I'll talk about project management and what is this all about. We're going to help the team to understand. Now, when we come to project management session, what will happen is we will talk about the project management details. When you see the course curriculum, what we're going to have here, it's going to be a session of 4 days, which will cover the framework of project management on a couple of topics, and we talk about the roles of the project manager and what are the knowledge areas which is needed in project management. To be very detailed here, it's something like PMP has information about project management covering something called triple constraints. There are 3 constraints which makes a project very complicated. That is scope of the project, schedule of the project, and cost of the project. So now the subject what we're going to learn in the course will help you to understand these 3 constraints in depth. And if you are a master of handling the constraints, you will be the more powerful manager in your organization, where you can complete the project within the time and within the budget given to you. Now that will be explained very detailed. And if you see here, you talk about resource management, which is one of the vital role a manager plays. What do you mean by resource management? It talks about human resource as well as material. I'll tell you, in day out of my life, where I'm handling around 7 projects and of having 60 people reporting to me, and handling the resources is one of the most complicated tasks which I play. I may not get the resource what I want on the time what I need it, or I may not get the material supplied on time. So now I should be planning effectively for project management to get this resource on time, the material on time, and how effectively utilize them, which is called as a value engineering. And this all will be explained elaborately in the course, which will make you to be a more powerful resource manager, right? And also we have something interesting called Agile Concepts. I know Agile is a very trending term happening in the market, which talks how effectively you make your project move forward in a very iterative and incremental way that is much faster to the market. And we'll be explaining this Agile concepts in the class. In fact, Agile is not very much focused on examination point in PMP, but still as an add-on, it has been given from Ismart to make the audience to be very clear about what is Agile. Yeah, we talk about it. Now, there is a question from you may come up asking, what the benefit of doing this PMP course, and is there any proven track record? Yes, we have it. When we say proven track record, I will share a couple of case studies which happen in the market. When you say a case study, there are organizations who have implemented the PMP principles and they were able to show some results on that. There are a lot of case studies. I'm taking some of the case study which we can understand very far straight away, which talks about some of the infrastructure related case studies. One of the case study I'm going to share here is a natural gas pipeline which was happened in Hong Kong, and it is a very complicated system to be implemented. Why I'm taking this here is most of the time such projects what we see here are very complicated in nature, as it involves geographical location, involves a lot of rules and regulations, involves a lot of time and cost factors. So when we understand this kind of case study, which will help us to understand the real projects of what we do day in, day out, right? So there is a case study here. If you look out to my screen, one of the world's most popular cities, Hong Kong, needs a consistent stream of clean energy resource to supply its 7.1 million residents with the power. Now, what happened is they plan to come out with the gas pipeline, which has to cross to the borders. And what they did is, I'll tell you, the project and program manager on the second West East gas pipeline Hong Kong branch had to handle enormous complexity to accomplish a task of building a subsea. They went under the sea to do this in one of the world's busiest marine channel. They implemented some of the good practice of PMP. If you look out here, they utilize the methodology of effective planning, which we will learn through the course, effective scope management, where we talk about the traceability matrix of the scope. We talk about the value engineering of the scope. We'll talk about the WBS, the most famous one, work breakdown structure. That will be very effective here. That's being discussed. Proactive quality monitoring. Of course, every organization has their own quality standards. Apart from that, we go for Six Sigma standards. We go for the specific industry standards. That's being taken into consideration. And this area, I believe everyone will have a challenge one or other way, which we call as people management. And this, again, they followed the PMP standards in their project, which showed enormous and great results to handle people of different geographical location. Risk management, I don't need to say about it. Risk is one of the very highest thing that too when a project like gas pipeline, you must be aware risk will be very, very high. And in PMP, we have an elaborated study about risk management, where we understand the qualitative analysis, quantitative analysis of risk, and also we come out to the risk mitigation plan. When I say mitigation plan, we go deep inside to understand how to tackle this risk in advance, or how to create a buffer, how to do the contingency reserve, how to come out with a management reserve. It's being really well elaborated. I love one of the best topic in PMP's risk management. And did I say that we have more than 65% of the projects fail in the world now? If I say that, that happens because one primary reason, Just a minute. Yeah, yep, sure. If I say something very important thing which pulls a project down is effective communication. I believe most of you here agree that most of the time the project delay happens due to lack of communication. And even the market study says that majority of the project fails because of the communication gap between the leadership team and with the actual project execution team. And in this Hong Kong gas pipeline project, they were effectively utilized the skills. And in PMP, we cover elaborated section talks about how the communication should be planned, how the channel should be framed, how to make it very effective. And we have decision making strategies, and we have stakeholder management. What do you mean by stakeholder management is every organization or every project will have set of stakeholders who directly or indirectly involved in the project. We know all these stakeholders in advance. When you start the project is going to be very powerful and effective. Now, why I'm explaining all these points is the project which we talk about is a $1 billion project with a huge amount of resource involved, huge amount of risk involved, and still they were able to execute it on time and within the budget. If you see the project here, you can see the gas pipeline, how far they made it from different country and what are the geographical location they moved across and bring to Hong Kong. It was a massive project which literally followed PMP, and they were able to successfully do it. And there's a big study on this. I can explain more about it. Before that, what I can do is I can listen from a couple of you on what's the expectation from your side, and do you have any questions on that? Maybe Gibson can start through. Gibson, can you give a highlight of what is the aim behind on your PMP expectation, or anything, any specific question you have? I believe, Gibson, you are in mute mode. Fine. Danny, you have any specific question on PMP?
No, not at this time.
Okay, great. So you're able to follow what's being going here with the explanation of PMP?
It's pretty straightforward.
Okay, great. And do you have Michael here? Michael, you want to get some information about specific on anything on PMP? Okay. Okay, great. What I do is I can give a little more explanation about the PMP background. Now, what we have seen so far is we have seen what is the need in the market for PMP, where we understood the job growth and what is the expectation and why we need it. If you look out here, the ideal skill set for today's project professional and the countries listed down here has a good amount of demand for project managers in coming years. Now, the moment we understood the demand, also we understand that a project management is not only the execution, it is beyond that, where a manager should have the ability to be a leader. A manager should have the ability to understand the strategy of the organization, or should have the great understanding of the business needs and also the tools and techniques, how to handle it. Now we know there is a demand. We also know certain skills needed to become a manager and how to fill this gap. And there comes a certificate called Project Management Professional, which is highly in demand in the market, where a PMP is a most wanted certificate. Now, how to attain it? When I say how to attain it, there are certain steps to take it on, where a person gets into a course where you learn this through a trained project management professional who is already certified. So this PMP coach will help the candidates to learn every part of project management, starting from understanding the communication, stakeholder part, scheduling part, cost management, or you talk about procurement management. We could deep detail and explain every part of project management. Understanding this part, you would be going with a study plan for 3 weeks where there'll be schedule given to the candidates and you will read as per the schedule for 20 days or 21 days and you get cover the whole subject of project management. And for which you have set of books. The candidates will be shared with the books, materials, and some of the practice test. Now, what is this test all about? Now, once you read the book, you're ready with the content, you already have an experience in the project. Now, your experience plus the material plus the training which you are going to listen through, going to give you a broader idea of how the management is being done. After which, you will go for a practice test and where you will be scoring more than 70%. And that's an indication that you are ready for the real exam. After which, we'll be guiding you how to fill the form and apply for the examination. Every guidance will be given end to end. And you apply for the examination and they invite for the examination. You will appear for the exam and that day you're going to be a project management professional certified. And this goes around 200 questions and you would write the exam in 4 hours of duration. A person with more than 7 years of experience in project always so good in clearing the examination as they have the real experience and the guidance from the PMP coach and the material is going to be shared with you. You're going to be the master of project management. And now this PMP is going to shine in a resume or a CV where you're going to have a top opportunity to become a manager. Right? So that's information which I want to pass to you.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is the success rate for the participants in your class to pass the exam on the first time?
Fantastic. That's the right question. And we're very proud to say that it is 100%.
Okay.
I'll give the background behind that. What happened here is the classroom, the training which we take here in online, where you're going to be explained every corner of project management with n number of examples.
Okay.
I personally believe that more we give examples, the candidates clear the exam faster. The reason being is when you go for the examination, each question is going to be scenario-based question. So it won't be a very straight line bookish question. It will be a scenario-based question. So when you understand the scenarios by example, when we explain in the class, the candidates take this exactly to the exam and they just clear the exam easily, right?
Yeah.
And also we'll create a group for the people who come for the training and we'll be in a consistent touch after the class gets over. So when and where you get the doubt, you will message us, mail us in any form of communication, and we'll be guiding the candidate consistently until they go for the exam. So I'll proudly say that we have 100% results.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I believe we are aware that the PMP is something which has a certain basic criteria. I will not go much deep inside because you all should be aware of it. If not, I'll give a base idea of what is expected for a person to become a PMP. Before that, I'll show you the PMP has a stats that, yeah, I mean, a person who has a PMP has always a 20% higher on average of your package. It's a very, very positive note for PMP. I'll just quickly give it what is expected. A prerequisite is a person having a degree with them. A person has 4,500 hours of project experience, which comes around 3 years. And a person has a 35 hours of project education, which is what you're going to get from Ismart. I would say that we don't need to worry about these prerequisites and information because it is the coach responsibility to fill up your form. So you have to just be in the class and listen to the class. The rest all taken care. So that's a part I want to say you, but still you should be aware of such prerequisites for the examination point, right? And yeah, that's a little bit about the PMP stuff, and it is straightforward in the website where we can apply for the examination and get clarity. Now, before we go further on, let's understand a little more from any questions from Danny, Gibson, Michael, anything coming up more? or any questions specific on the subject of PMP?
Mm. This is for the online course that this PowerPoint is on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, that's a course of online. And good thing about online courses, it's very open, where the question can be discussed and interacted, and you'll get the answers right away. And we'll be having this video recorded, so anytime of your free time, you can listen through that.
Okay.
So there is a chance, right? Sometimes we feel, oh, I missed this particular topic. So you don't need to worry. It'll be a recorded session. It will be shared with you on your free time, while you're driving, while you're at home. You can listen through that and get the knowledge again.
So the live session for a course is in the evening time, or?
That should be flexible enough, as if I'm on there. However, we have a big team here who will guide you on every step, and they'll go as per the flexibility what you want.
Gotcha.
So it depends. If you want the morning, if you want evening, we will do as you prefer.
Okay.
Right, that's how it goes.
Hi, I have a question. I saw that they have, hi, this is Michelle. I saw that they had two prices, one for members and one for non-members. What is the membership cost? Is it like $300 a year, something like that?
You got it. You got the right question. I like it. Thanks for asking. There is something called PMI membership. What happened here is they charge $129 per year to become a member. So what happened is I'm a member for some years. So what's the benefit of a member? When I pay $129 and become a member, I get a benefit of listening through n number of webinars, which is inside the website. And these webinars talk elaborated about real project management things happening in the world. And there'll be a lot of white papers being published, a lot of information about the project. And when you become a member, you enjoy all this benefit of listening webinars, reading articles, and you also get connected with like-minded project managers inside this website. It is like a Facebook. You'll have a lot of people who come in, who are the qualified managers. Someone from UK, someone from Sweden, someone from US, a different part of the world. You will get connected with them. You will start interacting with them. More networking, more job opportunity. That is one part. And if you are a member already and you go for an examination, they give a discount to you. In a sense, you will pay only $405 for the examination. Right? And when you are a member, you are also eligible to download some of the books. One of the book is the PMP's PMBOK book, also can be downloaded. So you get a lot of opportunities, and also you get discount to become when you go for the examination. And there are some people who prefer that I don't want to be a member. I'm not interested in listening all these webinars. I can listen that in YouTube. Then they say that only when they go for examination, they will pay the fee. On that timeline, they have to pay $555 for the examination. I believe I'm able to explain.
Wouldn't it make sense to get the membership so you can pay a little bit less, right?
Yes, absolutely. I generally recommend, I generally recommend the candidates go for the membership. The reason being is you get enormous amount of videos and audio recordings, and you get lots and lots of books. That's limitless. It will be light. If you go to the learning area, there are a lot of thought leadership, pulse of profession, PM networks, and talent triangle. They'll talk about lots and lots of information. It's like a huge repository with tons of information. It needs months and years for you to read. That much of information is there, right? So that benefit you'll gain when you become a member, right? And yeah, that's all about. And yeah, please.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome. And you come out with, may I understand which industry you're coming from and the background of your domain, so that I'll understand a little more.
You're talking about myself.
Yeah.
I recently graduated with a project management degree, but I've worked in public assistance with the government for the past 3 years. So
Amazing. So that's great. That's great. So you have 3 years. That makes you really eligible for the PMP certification. That's good news. Great. Great. Yeah. And when you say project management studies, I believe you did an elaborated study on the project management in your degree qualification, isn't it?
yes.
That's great. Good. I believe in that case, you will already have some information about the project management. And now when you combine this PMP with your studies, definitely that will add a lot of value.
Yeah, I did take project management. I took a procurement, the same thing that we do at my job with the federal government, with the disaster, a lot of the same stuff, scope of work and all that stuff. So it kind of like, I kind of like did it at the same time. So I thought that it was the best thing. I had previous just retail management experience. So I thought I'd combine the management experience with the project management experience.
Amazing.
Just to, yeah.
Amazing. Of course, it is highly demand. To be very honest, I'm a senior delivery manager in an organization. I handle at least 8 managers reporting to me. So most of the time, I have a challenge when a manager could not understand what is the demand from the customers. So what's happening here is the managers sometimes couldn't connect well what the customer is expecting. So they go on their own world of execution where we get into trouble. So when we see a person like you who have such a background of project management knowledge, along with the PMP certification, definitely this person is the highly preferred for the kind of job which we have, right? So it is something, project management is a very vast subject, but still I love PMP to the core in a way that it covers. It goes very deep inside and explaining all about the costing factor. I believe you should have learned the earned value management also, EVM part. Did you?
I'm sorry, which one is it?
It's called earned value management, EVM, the calculation for costing in project management.
Yeah, that was in one of the classes. I'm not sure. I think it may be strategies, strategic business planning, I think.
Yeah, that's like right. That. Yeah, we will cover that in PMP. You will love it. Such a beautiful topic. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Do we have any more questions? A general question you want to understand? Hey, what is this all about? So I'll try to help you. Any of the team members? Okay, I believe that we got little background about what is project management all about, and I'll just summarize what are things we discussed, so it'll be good if we can recall it. So first thing is we understood that project management study comes out of PMI, Project Management Institute, which is a well recognized from 1969 in conducting this course. And this PMP covers every depth of project management, starting from the scoping, scheduling, and cost factor, procurement, people handling. You name it in project management, that will be under PMP. And PMP, why we understood? By understanding the job gap analysis done by Anderson Economic Growth in the year 2017. And they found that there is going to be a great demand for effective managers in the world in next 5 to 6 years. And the salary package is going to be totally different for the people who come for project management study. And we saw some stats about that, where there is a high demand in different industries, what we work on. After which we started understanding what is expected from the effective project manager, where I was showing you something called talent triangle. In this talent triangle, we saw something called, we should have the business strategy in mind. We should have something called talent tools and techniques which need to be learned, and also we understood something on leadership path. So a person having all these 3 would be considered as an effective project manager. and it is being well explained in PMP when you go for the course. After which we took a case study to understand. I was showing you in a Hong Kong gas pipeline project, which is a very massive project in depth, which literally followed the project management principles, PMP principles, and they were very successful doing the project with the scope, within the timeline, within the budget, without not even one casualties. Because why I use the word casualty here? Because the gas pipeline project happening within geographical location, it's going to be very dangerous, highly risky. Still, they were able to complete, and all the credit goes to PMP. This is one of the case study I was explaining you. There are good amount of case studies in the market for any industry you talk about. Now that we understood, then we started walking through the prerequisites or some of the basics of project management certification needed. So we understood there are 3 criteria where you have the qualification, you will have a minimum 3 years of experience, and we understood that you will gain 35 contact hours through Ismart to go for the examination. And there was a question on the membership, non-membership. Yeah, we talked about it. Some of the fee structure we understood. We also understood that this is going to be an online training. It will be recorded and the video will be shared with you, where you can listen anytime when you want. And also we understood that we'll be forming a group, and this group will be guided by the coach, PMP coach, until you clear the examination. So there'll be a consistent support to you and your friends until you complete the examination. So these are some of the basic things we understood. Of course, we are open for any questions. Yeah. Sean and DJ?
Yeah, Shri, we are here.
Okay. I feel candidates understood a couple of questions, and yeah, we can take it further if they have more questions. If not, yes, you can take it on.
So I just want to check, if anybody has got any questions, Michelle or Gibson, anyone? So I believe that there are no questions, and I just want to take your 10 minutes soon after this, so that I can take your feedback and understand the objective of you being into this webinar, and that will make us more confident about moving forward. So Shri, thank you so much for your time. Do you have anything to say at this point in time?
I'm good. I'm much thrilled to meet again with this team to start the session where I can explain more about PMP and take a beautiful journey. Yeah, I'm good here. And thanks, team. It's happy listening to you. I believe it's with the DJ and now with Sean. Yeah, you can take it on.
Sure, Shri, thank you so much for your time, and it's been wonderful you having you on this presentation, giving us about the glimpse about PMP and PMI, the requirement, the prerequisite. So it's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.